It's 5th of March 2025, and this is when the news coming to you live from the News Hub here at the University of Education, Winneba. Coming up in the next minute. Gender Mainstream Directorate hosts forum on sexual harassment prevention. President Mahama endorses progress in constitutional review. Government reaffirms commitment to structural reforms and private sector growth. And in business, government urged to consider partial privatization of ECG to tackle energy sector debt. On the foreign front, Sahel region identified as global hub for terrorism. We have details of all these stories and many more coming up in the bulletin. My name is Nana Ama Nyamike Baini. Now the news in detail. The Gender Mainstream Directorate, in collaboration with the POS Foundation, has organized a forum themed Safe Space Preventing Sexual Harassment on Campus by Amplifying Change on March 4, 2025 at the North Assembly Hall, University of Education, Winneba. The event aimed to raise awareness about sexual harassment and promote a culture of respect and inclusivity on campus. In an interview, Professor Andy Ofori-Brinkwan, former Pro-Vice Chancellor and gender activist, emphasized the importance of integrating gender studies in the curriculum, particularly for first-year students. He highlighted that the university has policies and programs in place to prevent harassment and ensure a safe learning environment.
Anti-sexual harassment policy is part of the student's handbook, but the student hardly read it. So we need to, of course, sensitize them through regular refresher courses and workshops like this to let them know that there is a policy like that and they need to take a good look at that policy and apply them to their daily lives. Now, we have had, from the interaction that we had from the presentation, it is clear that we have a few cases or some cases of sexual harassment that have been reported. Unfortunately, students have not been empowered enough. They have not been given the confidence, the courage to report them as and when it happens. 1, because of fear. 2, because of stigma. 3, because they are on a career path and they don't want any obstruction to their career path. But as an institution, we think that it is our responsibility to ensure that we create a safe space for the students. That is why within the policies that we have policies on reporting, we have policy on workshops like this, we have the anti-sexual harassment policy. We are trying to create an environment where interaction between lecturers and student is respectful. Now, if we are able to put all these things in place, then we can be sure that we would have created a very safe place for students to conduct their duties without being harassed. We have gender courses for almost everybody in level 100. They have liberal courses, and some of the liberal courses include contents on gender issues. But I think that the suggestion that was made was not on gender, because even I teach some gender courses. The suggestion was for us to include a course on sexual harassment. And I think that suggestion is important because it means that when we are teaching the gender courses, in the content, we should have a whole session that is devoted to sexual harassment so that we can use the opportunity to sensitize students on sexual issues and sexual harassment.
Director of Institutional Advancement, Professor Lucy Efe Atom, also spoke at the event, stressing the severity of harassment issues and discussing strategies for prevention.
Sometimes some of the students, they may come to you confiding in you, but they are not ready to make it public. That is what I mean. It is when we have the reports coming officially, then you can have statistics on it. But when it comes like in a form of the person expressing his or her displeasure, you may not even take it as serious as it should be. Although we have the informal type of reporting, but we have an outfit that is supposed to work on those things. This workshop is a very good one, and I personally will urge that if for nothing at every semester we have it. The focus should be on prevention. Prevention is better than cure, because sometimes when the issue happened, the rate at which the person involved is affected is so huge. Sexual harassment in general. Elsewhere, what constitutes sexual harassment may not constitute sexual harassment when we are looking at Ghana. So we should also bear in mind. It's about everybody, not only the girl child. The males should also be involved. The females who are mostly those who are victims, or let me say those who are affected, they are our sisters. They are our mothers. They will be our wives. I hope you are getting. They are our daughters. So things concerning them must be of priority to us. And sometimes we are not blaming. We don't blame the males, but we blame the system. And the system is in such a way that it always perpetrates what the society sees as.
Now, the University of Education Basic School commemorated Ghana's Independence Day with a week-long event designed to immerse students in the nation's rich culture and historical legacy. Held from March 3rd to March 5th, the celebration featured a variety of activities aimed at both educating and entertaining students. In an interview with Windy News, Mr. Joseph Baidu, a communication and media staff member, emphasized the objectives of the celebration, highlighting its role in fostering cultural appreciation and historical awareness among students.
Today, as you see our learners around, we are here to help in celebrating Ghana's independence. For us, every month is Ghana month, especially March, and they are dressing. We are educating them about the 5 major ethnic groups in Ghana, which are the Akans, the Evers, the Ga Dangwe, the Modagbani, and the Guans. Based on these, kids were made to dress to depict their tribes. So as you can see, they are dressed in various forms, showing the tribes they are coming from. And we also educated them through video lessons about each of their tribes, the food they eat, the way they dress, the language they speak, the festival they celebrate, amongst others. Finally, the last day, which is going to be tomorrow, we are hosting a food bazaar. And the essence of the food bazaar, all these, our aim is just basically to, 1, we are immersing our learners into their rich cultural.
President John Dramani Mahama has expressed his approval of the progress made in the constitutional review process and reaffirmed his administration's commitment to supporting it. He made this statement on Tuesday, March 4, during a meeting with members of the Constitution Review Committee at the inaugural stakeholder engagement. In acknowledging the committee's effort, the president highlighted several key issues, including the election of metropolitan, municipal, and district chief executives, the remuneration of Article 71 office holders, and the appointment of ministers from Parliament. He emphasized that these areas are critical to enhancing Ghana's governance framework and required careful consideration. Now, away from that, President John Dramani Mahama on Monday committed to guiding the country towards a more promising and prosperous future. During his keynote address at the National Economic Dialogue held in Accra, he remarked that upon taking office just 2 months prior, he encountered an economy in severe distress, burdened by a multitude of challenges. He emphasized that the financial difficulties confronting the nation did not emerge suddenly, but were the result of long-standing structural issues.
We gathered here to reclaim our country's economic strength and emerge as a beacon of progress on the African continent. Not only a beacon of democracy, but a beacon of economic prosperity. This dialogue here today must serve as that turning point, a forum where we move beyond diagnosing the problems and instead implement concrete pragmatic solutions to reposition Ghana on a path of sustainable growth. As President, I am committed to ensuring that the lessons learned from this crisis will shape the decisions we make in the years ahead. The mistakes of the past must not define our future, and I vow to do everything in my power to steer this nation towards a brighter and more prosperous path.
The government has reiterated its dedication to structural reforms and growth driven by the private sector, committing to enact initial policy recommendation from the 2025 National Economic Dialogue. The two-day dialogue focused on 6 priority areas, including macroeconomic stability, and provided a strategic framework for attaining long-term economic resilience and sustainable development. During the closing session, Vice President Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman emphasized the Mahama administration's commitment to promoting economic growth and enacting measures that provide relief to both businesses and citizens.
The reset agenda is both ambitious and necessary. It requires a concerted effort from all of us, that is government, private sector, civil society, every Ghanaian citizen. And I want to assure you that the government of Ghana is fully committed to translating these resolutions into concrete action. I have noted all the homework you have given us. Our promise is to collaborate with all sectors and all sections of Ghana to ensure that we deliver a homework worthy of an A.
We take a short breather. When you come back, at business.
Hey there, welcome to Radio Unibe 98.3 FM. Seated right in front of you is Ampon Bismarck, for short Ampon B. Here we say we are the ultimate in campus radio. I entreat you all to be listening to Radio Unibe 98.3 FM. And your Radio Unibe, forget about it.
Hello, my name is Amina Abisbanan, a media personality at Radio Windy Bay 98.3 FM. Kindly follow us on all our social media handles. You can find us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Follow us on www.uew.edu.gh. We are the ultimate in campus radio.
Welcome back from that short breather. Let's do some business. My name is Florence Kwanzaa. The government has been encouraged to explore the option of partial privatization of the Electricity Company of Ghana as a means to address the escalating debt challenges within the energy sector, which is increasingly impacting public finances. This suggestion was put forward during the structural policy reform session at the National Economic Dialogue. In presenting the group's recommendation, former CEO of the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation, Dr. K.K. Sapon, highlighted that the involvement of the private sector could lead to greater efficiency, improved revenue collection, and a decrease in financial losses within the power sector.
There's also some conflict between ECG and VRA as to who should do export, who should do what. I think this must be streamlined so that we can get optimal results. With regard to the legacy debts, we believe there should be a vehicle to raise funds to service the legacy debts, while ensuring all the necessary protocols are complied with. The options include create an opportunity to release ECG equity in fiscal assets to raise funds, a form of privatization, but it's something that we need to be thought through carefully.
Dr. Cassel Atoba Forson, the Minister of Finance, on Monday presented what he characterized as a thorough strategy designed to revitalize Ghana's economy through extensive structural reform. The minister underscored the critical necessity for fiscal discipline and sustainable growth, labeling the existing macroeconomic condition as extremely fragile. This declaration made on the first day of the National Economic Dialogue, which took place at the Accra International Conference.
All state-owned enterprises are in the red. Almost all of them are in the red. From the Electricity Company of Ghana to the Agricultural Development Bank. Almost all of them are in the red. In fact, beginning from the year 2021, 2022, and 2023, you will see that Cocoa Board posed some profit of 2.2 billion in the year 2023. Your Excellency, this is artificial profit. This profit is because they failed to service their debt because of the debt suspension. And so all the cocoa bills that were due at the time, they failed to pay because of debt suspension. Subsequently, this debt still exists, and so we will need to take action to restructure most of the state-owned enterprises.
And that will be all for business on Windy News. My name is Florence Kwanzaa. Up next is sports.
Hey there, welcome to Radio Unibe 98.3 FM. Seated right in front of you is Ampon Bismarck, for short Ampon B. Here we say we are the ultimate in campus radio. I entreat you all to be listening to Radio Unibe 98.3 FM. And your Radio Unibe, yeah, forget about it.
Hello, my name is Amina Abisbanan, a media personality at Radio Winnipeg 98.3 FM. Kindly follow us on all our social media handles. You can find us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Follow us on www.uew.edu.gh. We are the ultimate in campus radio.
Now, welcome back from that short breather. Now, let's do some sports here on Windy News. My name is Ronaldo. English football analyst Jamie Carragher clarified that he did not intend to disrespect the AFCON Cup of Nations, as he made a comment that appeared to undermine the African Cup of Nations. Now, let's listen to what he said.
Well, what I would say is you know me better than anybody on this show, and I've got very strong opinions on the game. I love debate, and that will never change. But what I would never want to be described as a pundit would be ignorant or disrespectful. So that was never, my aim. And whether that's to a player, a club, a country, a continent, an international tournament, whatever that may be. So what I would say is where I got it wrong was I was clumsy with my language in describing AFCON as not a major tournament. I was trying to explain the merits of Mo Salah winning the Ballon d'Or, as you've just said, and I felt or feel that not just AFCON, I would say, the Asia Games, the Gold Cup, not so much the Copa America, but there's 5 major tournaments out there besides the World Cup that are for their continent and are obviously a major tournament. But some of them don't resonate with the people who vote for the Ballon d'Or. And that for me was not an opinion. That was like a fact in terms of looking who'd won the Ballon d'Or over the last sort of 40, 50 years. So, yes, I've been banging the drum for Mo Salah to become the first African player to win the Ballon d'Or for, I think since George Weah in the mid-90s. And as I said, I should have been a lot tidier with my language around that. So, yes, that's something that I look at. But as I said, you do look at sort of, the Euros where it's at right now and other competitions. And some of them resonate with the Ballon d'Or voters who at times are journalists, national coaches, national captains. And one of the reasons might be, I think sometimes we forget, the Ballon d'Or was the European Footballer of the Year. So maybe there is a bias towards maybe the Euros or European football in the past. So it was definitely not my aim to offend anybody. I know I've done that a lot in the past in different guises, shall we say, about maybe different players or teams, but that was certainly not the case.
Now, away from that story, as the first leg of the round of 16 commenced, here are the results for the matches that went on. Arsenal rout of PSV as they boost their confidence in the Champions competition. Real Madrid with a slight advantage over Atletico Madrid as the rivalry heats up for the second leg. Aston Villa trashed Club Brugge in a 3-1 victory. Dortmund did not push past the pain as they were held in a 1-1 draw by Lille. Now let's focus our attention to tonight's actions, where we have Feyenoord taking on Inter Milan, as Inter Milan will be hoping for a revenge against Feyenoord this evening. Benfica meet Barcelona as they are about to meet the 11th time in the European competition. Bayern Munich will face Bayer Leverkusen as an all-German showdown in the competition for the first time. PSG will entertain Liverpool as a heavyweight clash sees Liverpool and PSG meet in the knockout round for the first time since 1996. Well, that'll be all for sports here on Windy News. My name is Ronaldo. Up next is Entertainment News.
Hey there, welcome to Radio Unibe 98.3 FM. Seated right in front of you is Ampon Bismaku, for short Ampon B. Here we say we are the ultimate in campus radio. I entreat you all to be listening to Radio Unibe 98.3 FM. And your Radio Unibe, forget about it.
Hello. My name is Amina Abisbanan, a media personality at Radio Windy Bay 98.3 FM. Kindly follow us on all our social media handles. You can find us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Follow us on www.uew.edu.gh. We are the ultimate in campus radio.
Let's do some entertainment. musician King And sorry for that technical hitch. Welcome back from that short breather. My name is Haruna Aaron Adam. Let's do some entertainment. Musician King Paluta has explained the reasons he deserved the coveted 2025 Telecel Ghana Music Artist of the Year award. In an interview monitored by Windy News, Paluta noted that he released hit songs and talked about a prophecy. Many people sided with him, whilst others claimed other musicians deserved the award.
Year 2024. Yeah. You remember first hit song a buy. Odobi a buy. Yeah. Rap Father featuring King Paluta. True. Baby, I drew a life for no. Yeah. Trako mate. As the buy in a koji awards for best new artist. Yes, male TGMA. Best new artist of the year. Yes, 3, right? Or best 2? New. Yeah, 2. 2. Yeah. Okay. But best, best new artist. So, one said best new artist no. Say. So we artist of the year if you are on our whole. We are because oh yeah, for real. See, best new artist. That year, which means 2023 grand. Me na me yes new artist na me ye ejuma pa. 2023 me too kwan am for tapping me shoulders for airport and they be like, hey, new artist of the year. I'm like, hey, sir, prophecy. What I say? And a bear like that. And which means 2023 crown. Yeah. Me ye ejuma pa ain't no more best new artist of the year. Okay. You are 2024. Man fan bodon. You remember me dey. Oh yeah, Juma. But they do to be a bad verse now. Baby, I dream life in the buy, and then Uncle Pard in a picky. I said, I buy in a picky. Macoma buy in a picky. For the puppy, I did not pick it. I buy now almost a M picky. And yes.
On to our next story. Renowned broadcaster Akosua Ago Abuaje has joined Sompa FM as the radio manager for the station's Accra branch. Ago Abuaje announced her new appointment on Tuesday, March 4th, 2025, just a week after leaving despite media's Peace FM. The announcement, which coincided with her birthday, sparked frenzy among her followers on social media. And that will be all for entertainment segment on here, Windy News. My name is Haruna Aaron Adam. Up next is international news.
Hey there, welcome to Radio Unibe 98.3 FM. Seated right in front of you is Ampon Besmaku, for short Ampon B. Here we say we are the ultimate in campus radio. I entreat you all to be listening to Radio Unibe 98.3 FM. And your Radio Unibe, yeah, forget about it.
Hello. My name is Amina Abisbanan, a media personality at Radio Windy Bay 98.3 FM. Kindly follow us on all our social media handles. You can find us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Follow us on www.uew.edu.gh. We are the ultimate in campus radio. Hello, my name is Amina Abisbanan, a media personality.
Just gone by is entertainment news. Now to the foreign arena. The Sahel region of Africa has emerged as a central hub for global terrorism, currently responsible for over 50% of all terrorism-related fatalities across the globe, as indicated by the most recent Global Terrorism Index report.
The Sahel region of Africa has become the focal point of global terrorism, now accounting for more than half of all terrorism-related deaths worldwide, according to the latest Global Terrorism Index report. The report indicates that 3,885 out of 7,555 global terrorism-related deaths occurred in the semi-arid region south of the Sahara Desert. While the global number of terrorism-related deaths have declined from its peak in 2015, fatalities in the Sahel have surged nearly tenfold since 2019, as extremists and insurgent groups increasingly concentrate their activities in the region. Published by the Institute for Economics and Peace, the GTI defines terrorism as the unlawful use or threat of force and violence by non-state actors to achieve political, economic, religious or social objectives through fear and coercion. The Sahel stretches across Africa from west to east and includes parts of Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, Cameroon, Guinea, the Gambia, Senegal, Nigeria, Chad and Mauritania as outlined in the GTI report.
Still on the foreign front, U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick has suggested that President Donald Trump is anticipated to review a deal on Wednesday that seeks to lower tariffs on Canada and Mexico. Nevertheless, Canada's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mélanie Joly, has remarked that her office has not received any communication concerning the proposal.
U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick has indicated that President Donald Trump is expected to announce a deal on Wednesday aimed at reducing tariffs on Canada and Mexico. However, Canada's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mélanie Joly, stated that her office had not been contacted regarding the proposal. The tariff dispute escalated after the U.S. imposed a 25% tariff on imports from Canada and Mexico, prompting both countries to introduce retaliatory levies on U.S. goods. Despite addressing trade policies in his speech to Congress, Trump did not confirm whether the tariffs implemented this week would be reduced. Trump has signaled plans to impose reciprocal tariffs on various countries starting April 2nd, arguing that they have engaged in unfair trade practices. Meanwhile, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau strongly criticized the U.S. tariffs, describing them as harmful and counterproductive. He announced retaliatory measures and warned that a trade war would have severe consequences for both economies. Trudeau also accused the U.S. administration of attempting to undermine Canada's economy to facilitate greater U.S. control. On the same day, Washington escalated its trade conflict with China by imposing an additional 10% tariff on Chinese imports, adding to existing trade restrictions from Trump's first term and recent announcement.
Before we end with the news this afternoon, a recap of the stories that made headlines. Gender Mainstream Directorate hosts Forum on Sexual Harassment Prevention. President Mahama endorses progress in constitutional review. Government reaffirms commitment to structural reforms and private sector growth. And in business, government urged to consider partial privatization of ECG to tackle energy sector. On the foreign front, Sahel region identified as the global hub for terrorism. And that will be all for Windy News here at Radio Windy Bay 98.3 FM. My name is Nana Amma Nyamike Baini. Thank you for doing the watching and do enjoy the rest of your afternoon.